little fox.
Pollyanna, Chapter 4, The Attic Room. When Pollyanna arrived, Miss Polly was reading in her sitting room. She didn't bother to stand up, but extended a hand for Pollyanna to shake.
How do you do, Pollyanna?
Pollyanna raced across the room and threw her arms around her startled relative.
Aunt Polly, I'm so glad you're letting me live with you. Oh.
Pollyanna sobbed with relief, burying her face in Aunt Polly's lap.
I'm sure that's true.
Aunt Polly tried to loosen Pollyanna's grip around her waist.
Please be good enough to stand up straight. I don't even know what you look like.
Pollyanna stood up at once.
I should explain why I'm wearing red instead of black. I told Nancy how Father said.
Never mind what he said.
Aunt Polly interrupted.
You've brought a trunk, I assume?
Yes, indeed. I don't have many things of my own. But the Ladies' Aiders thought I should bring Father's books, and...
Pollyanna!
Aunt Polly interrupted again.
There's something we should get straight right away. I don't want to hear anything about your father.
Pollyanna looked startled.
You mean nothing at all?
It's time to go upstairs to your room,
Aunt Polly said, changing the subject. Silently, Pollyanna followed her aunt from the sitting room. Her eyes were filled with tears, but she bravely held her chin high. She thought Aunt Polly was probably being kind.
I'm glad Aunt Polly doesn't want to talk about Father,
Pollyanna thought.
Maybe if I don't talk about him, I won't miss him so much.
They were in an upstairs hallway now, and Pollyanna eagerly admired the thick rugs and pictures in gold frames. Open doors offered glimpses into beautifully furnished bedrooms with lace curtains at the windows. Pollyanna couldn't wait to see which bedroom was hers.
Oh, Aunt Polly, you have so many pretty things. You must be glad you're rich,
Pollyanna exclaimed.
Pollyanna!
Aunt Polly scolded.
We do not talk about money in this family.
Aunt Polly's instinct had been to put her niece as far away from herself as possible. She knew children were careless, so the attic was perfect. It contained nothing valuable that Pollyanna could ruin. Now that Aunt Polly had met Pollyanna, she'd seen that this girl was very interested in money and possessions. Her instinct had been right. Aunt Polly opened a door, and they went upstairs into the dim, hot attic. Pollyanna couldn't imagine why Aunt Polly was taking her someplace where it was hard to breathe.
Here's your room,
Aunt Polly said, opening a door.
I see Tom has brought up your trunk. Do you have the key?
Pollyanna nodded. Her eyes were wide with fright.
When I ask a question, Pollyanna, I'd like you to speak.
Yes, Aunt Polly.
Thank you. That's better.
Aunt Polly glanced at the water pitcher which Nancy had filled.
I believe you have everything you need. I'll send Nancy to help you unpack. Supper is at 6 o'clock.
Aunt Polly abruptly went downstairs, leaving Pollyanna alone. When Nancy came up a few minutes later, she found Pollyanna sobbing. Oh, you poor lamb! Nancy dropped to the floor and hugged Pollyanna. Let's hang up your dresses.
I don't have many.
Then it'll be a quick job, Nancy said. Pollyanna suddenly smiled.
Well, I can be glad about that.
Nancy didn't know how to respond. She quickly unpacked Pollyanna's patched underwear and out-of-style dresses. Nancy suspected they'd all come from the donation box.
This will be a nice room,
Pollyanna said, looking out a window.
Don't you think? I'm glad there isn't a mirror, because now I can't see my freckles. And the view from this window is better than any picture. I'm so glad Aunt Polly let me have this room.
To Pollyanna's surprise, Nancy stifled a sob and ran downstairs. Left alone, Pollyanna opened the window and let in the cool, fresh air, along with some flies. She smiled mischievously as she studied the tree outside.
I bet I could climb down this tree.
An hour later, the hall clock struck 6, and Nancy rang the bell for supper. 5 minutes passed, and there was no sign of Pollyanna. Aunt Polly stepped into the hall and listened intently. For a moment she waited, tapping her foot impatiently. Then she swept into the dining room.
잠깐, 동화 보고 끝 아니죠? 폴리아나에 나온 영어 단어들 공부해 볼까요? 준비, 시작!
Attic. Sitting room. Bother. Extend. Startled. Relative. Sob.
Relief.
Bury. Loosen. Grip. Waste. At once. Instead of. Mind.
Interrupt. Assume.
Right away. Subject. Silently. Eagerly. Rug. Frame. Glimpse.
Furnished.
Instinct. Careless. Contain. Possession. Dim. Someplace. Breathe. Unpack. Abruptly. Lamb. Drop. Hang up. Quick. Patch. Underwear. Suspect. Donation. Freckle. Stifle.
Along with.
Mischievously. Bet. Intently. Impatiently. Dining room. Attic. Sitting room. Bother. Extend. Startled. Relative. Sob.
Relief.
Bury. Loosen. Grip. Waste. At once. Instead of. Mind.
Interrupt. Assume.
Right away. Subject. Silently. Eagerly. Rug. frame, glimpse,
furnished,
instinct, careless, contain, possession, dim, someplace, breathe, unpack, abruptly, lamb, drop,
hang up,
quick, patch, underwear, suspect, donation, freckle, stifle,
along with,
mischievously, bet, intently, impatiently, dining room,
Little fox.